All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and solve this, okay? So we're going to go ahead and what's the first thing I'm going to do? You guys remember? What's the first thing I have to do? Is there's an equal sign, right? So I'm going to draw a line because I want to make sure it balances, all right? I want to separate it. So we're going to work on the left side. Okay, I don't know what answer we're going to get. So what do? We look for the parentheses, right? And we have a distributive property right here. So what do? We draw an arrow. So draw an arrow, and then we multiply up to the end of the parentheses. But mister, there's a parentheses over there. Yeah, but that's plus negative 3x. That's not part of the negative 5 distributive property with the negative 5. So what's negative times a positive right here? So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and multiply. Negative times positive is negative. 5 times 2x is 10x. So I'm following the small arrow. Now I'm following the big arrow. Negative times a negative is what? Alejandra, what's negative times negative?
Negative.
Negative times negative is negative?
Oh, sorry, it's positive.
Oh, are you sleeping? Oh man, half asleep. 5 times 1 is 5. Technically it's not 9:17, it's 10 o'clock. Okay, so 5 times 1 is 5. Okay, well, mister, here's another parentheses. Now you could put a 1 here if you want, right? Positive times negative is what? Negative. And then 1 times 3x is 3x. All right, stay on this side. Now what can I do, Davin? What can I do on this side? Right? What can I do? Well, the left side. Add what? Negative 10x with what? No. Yeah, no. We've been doing that for 5 weeks. Come on, guys. With negative 3x, so I'm going to go ahead and do the t-chart. So go ahead and do the t-chart, guys. So what's my answer, Elijah? If I have a negative 10 plus a negative 3x with the t-chart. Elijah? Okay, I got to move on. Frank? Got to write people's name down. Frank? Very good. Negative 13. What? Mike, check. Check it, check. All right, cool. Thanks, man. So negative 13x, right? And then we're going to put plus 5, right? We're just going to drop that down. And that's what we did last week, right? So now we're going to keep going, right? So we're solving for x. But where is x? Sorry, x is on this side, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of, I can't get rid of the negative 13 just yet, okay? Because it's together. When they're together, you're going to divide, but you can't divide just yet. So you got to get rid of the what? The 5. You got to get rid of things first, all right? So I'm going to get rid of the 5 by adding a negative 5 to both sides. See, you're adding the opposite, all right? Like if you throw something out, well, you can't just throw it out and it's going to be 5. You got to use something. So what did I use? A negative 5 because that makes it a 0. And then negative 5 because what you do on one side, you got to do to the other side. Okay. So then we bring down the negative 13x. Bring down the equals. And now what's 15 take away 5? That's 10. Okay, you see that? So what did we do first? We did the multiplication, right? We did combine like terms. Then now we're going to start throwing things away. All right, so now it's a plus 5. I have to put a negative 5. I have to make it a 0. All right, so I do it on both sides. Then you add them, drop this down. Now what do? You guys remember? When something's together, you want to divide them. See how this is together? So you want to divide by -13, both sides. Okay? Divide by -13, both sides. Because -13 divided by -13, that's a 1. So now you're going to have x equals positive divided by negative is negative 10 over 13. Okay? It's going to be a fraction, and that's okay. Sometimes you'll get fractions. Now, can you simplify it? No, that's it. And we'll do simplified later. Okay? So that's basically what you have to do. Okay? So far, so good? Okay? So once again, what do? We do distributive property, right? Combine like terms, right? Combine like terms, and then divide. Take it out, and then divide. So far, so good? All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause it so then I could write the next problem. So with this problem, what do we do here? What do? Right? So do we do 5 take away 2? No, we do multiplication, right? So the -2, you're going to distribute with the parentheses right here. Okay, so what do? So negative the 5 just going to drop down because we've been doing this. So -2, you're going to multiply, right? -2. Okay, so -2 times 4y. So negative times positive is what? Negative. 2 times 4y is, Jacob, 2 times 4y? -8y, yes, very good. Jay, what about this one? Negative times, oh, it goes to negative. Negative times negative?
Positive 2.
+2. Okay, and then the next one, I could put a 1 right here just because whenever you multiply it, the parentheses disappear after, right? So I'll just put that just in case. So positive times negative is negative, and then 1 times 3y is 3y. Okay, and then I'm going to put the equals there, and then I'm just going to drop the -2, 20, because there's nothing else I could do there. All right, so now what do? Now you combine like term, right? So let's see, Myrna. So when I combine like terms on this side, what am I combining first? Right, so I'm going to put a box over the -8y plus the -3y. See that? So I'm going to do the t-chart. -8y, -3y, which is a negative, what? 11y, right? 11y, because you add them, right? Then the next one I'm going to do is the 5 plus 2, which is what? 5 plus 2 is 7 equals, right? And then what do we do with the -20? We bring it down. Okay? So now there's only one y over here, right? So I'm going to circle this side. And what do I got to get rid of? Well, what did we get rid of first over here? We didn't get rid of the -13 because it's right next to the x. They're right attached to it. I got rid of the constant. So over here, I'm going to have to do the same thing. I got to get rid of the what? The 7. So when you get rid of the 7, what happens? How do you get rid of the 7? How do you get rid of this 7? You add a what? Anybody? Anthony? What do I add?
-7 on both sides.
Right. So I could throw it. I could throw it. I like doing that, and then say, "Hey, I gotta add a -7." Right. I'm gonna throw it. Right. it's like planting a -7, then you throw the -7 to the side because that makes this 0. Then the -11y comes down, equals, and then here I have to add because remember, it's not multiplication. So I'm going to go ahead and do a t-chart, -20, -7. So that's negative what? 27. Okay. Now we're good. Now we got to divide, right? So if you look at the other one, when they're together, that's the only thing. Then you divide. Okay. So let's go ahead and divide by -11. And that's a 1. So my answer is y is equal to what's negative divided by negative? That's positive 27 over 11. Now, you could do what you did in 7th grade and say, oh, that's 2 point, but in when you start getting into high school stuff, you just leave it as a fraction and see if you could simplify. Can you divide both sides by anything? No. So that's it. So there's your answer, 27 over 11. Okay? 26. So what do we do? Again, you did the same thing. We we drop down the 5 because we don't want to subtract 5 take away 2. Right? We need to do multiplication, right? Multiply first all the way to the end of the parentheses and then put a 1 right there. Okay? And then once you multiply, you combine like terms. Okay? And then go ahead and start doing 0 pairs. It's called 0 pairs. All right? And then divide. So here, this is where we divide. Okay, divide. Okay, divide at the end. All right, so far so good. Yeah, I'm going slow, so there's only 2 problems yet. Okay, so what do we do first? I have an equal sign, correct? Okay, so if I have an equal sign, what do I do down the equal sign? I draw a line to separate them, right? So now, do you see a parentheses? Yeah, you can put a plus what? You can put a plus 1 if you want. You know, let's just multiply. Why not? What's positive times negative? Negative. 1 times 3? 3. See that? Do we multiply with the -5? No, because that's where the parenthesis ends. So we can't go further. You got to stop. So what happens with all the other terms? What happens? Elijah, what happens with all the other terms? Like 3y, -6y, -5. What should I do? What should I do? Yeah, just bring them down. Yeah, very good. Just bring them down. If I can't do anything, just bring them down. And then I'll put equals and then 1. Okay? Remember, we're just sticking to this side. So now what do I do? Well, we're done with multiplying. Now we got to combine them, put them together, right? Okay, because we need to solve for y. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 3y and the -6y. So let's go ahead and do the t-chart right there. So 3y, -6y. And what's my answer? Anybody? Let's see. Frank, what's my answer there?
-3y.
Very good. -3y. -3y. See that? And then now I'm going to do the constants. The -3, and I'm going to add. Remember, combined like terms, meaning you're adding them. So I'm going to do another t-chart. -3 and -5. Let's see. And let's see. Davin, what do we get there? When we combine the -3 with the -5. Davin? Davin or Alejandra? I don't think Davin's there. Alejandra?
Yeah.
You were asleep. Come on.
No, I'm not asleep,
Okay, you weren't listening? Negative
Yeah.
3 plus a -5. Oh, man. -3 plus a -5.
2.
No. So remember the T-chart. -3, -5. Negative wins by how many?
Oh, wait, yeah, -8.
-8. All right. Are you sleepy?
No, I'm chilling.
Chilling like a villain. Ah, okay. All right. Man, I should do that. All right. So now we have y on the left side, correct? So I'm going to circle this side, okay? Because I'm done with combining like terms. Now, what do I got to get rid of? Remember, I want to solve for y, but I don't want to divide just yet. That's the last thing I do. So let's see. Alejandra, what do I want to get rid of? Alejandra.
You're gonna add 8
I'm
to
going to
both
add,
sides.
very good. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. See that? Because I'm going to throw it away. In order to launch the -8, I have to set it up with a +8. So the +8 goes to the other side, right? So now what comes down? The -3y equals 1 plus 8 is 9, right? Now you could divide them, because it's like a boyfriend girlfriend, people want to divide them. So let's divide them by what? -3. -3. See that? So then here it's going to be y, equals positive divided by negative is a negative. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And there's your answer. Now, what does that mean? That means if I plug in the y with the -3 and I do PEMDAS, it's going to balance. The left side is going to balance with the right side. So 1 is equal. At the end, you're going to have 1 equals 1. That's what it means. You want to solve for y. All right? Okay, let's see. All right, so we have an equation, correct? So what's the first thing I should do, guys? Anybody? Anybody? There's an equal sign, right? So let's see. Justin, what should I do? Justin, what should I do? What's the first thing I should do before working it out? Justin? Myrna?
Put the line.
Yeah, put the line. Yeah. Justin, what do we do? Or type it in if your speaker doesn't work. Type it in, type it in. Draw the line. Yes. You don't know? Okay. Draw the line. Draw the line down the middle. Okay? Draw the line down the middle. The same thing we've been doing for the last 3 problems. The first thing we do is draw the line down the middle. Okay? So can you type that in, Justin? Draw the line down the middle. So basically, why? To balance it, to separate things. All right, let's separate it. Line in the middle. Thank you. All right, there you go. So to balance it, right? So now we're going to do the left side. Is there parentheses? No. Multiplication? Nope. So now let's combine them. All right. So what's -20 plus 3? We'll do that to Justin on that one because he got the last one. He put I don't know, but you know how to do this. So what's -20 plus 3? Justin on that one. -20 plus 3. What is that? What do you got? What do you got? What sign? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Very good. Very good. All right. And then put on down the line. So we're done with the left side. We're done. Now we got to go to the right side. Okay. So now, do you see that? We have a parenthesis. So we have to multiply, right? So the 2, we're going to distribute with the -3x and with the positive. That's it, because this is where the parentheses ends. All right. So here we go. So let's go with that Jade. Jade, what's let's do the first one. Positive times negative is what?
-6x.
-6x. Very good. Let's go with Jacob. positive times this positive, and then 2 times 2. So what's positive times positive is what? Jacob, plus 4. Am I going to multiply the 2 with negative 9? No, because you're only multiplied till the end of the parentheses, okay? So what do we do? What do we do with the negative 9? Like Elijah would tell me, bring it what? Bring it down, okay? Now, you see the right side, we still got all this stuff happening, right? So now let's combine them, right? So what can I combine? The 4 with the negative 9, right? So let's do a T-chart, okay? Combine like terms. So let's see, Davin, what do we get for that answer? Okay, Davin, what do we get?
For 4 plus negative 9?
Right here, correct.
Negative 5.
Very good. So negative 5, and then we have negative 6x. All right, you guys got it? And then put the equal signs, and then put negative 17, because there's nothing on the left side. Mister, but the x is on the right side. That's okay. That's all right. Same thing. Now, what am I going to get rid of? Remember, the last thing you do is divide, but we can't divide the negative 6 because there's a negative 5 in the way. Get it out. Get out. It's like a fly. Get out. So you're going to throw it to the other side, but you got to throw it with a what? A positive 5, because that's going to be 0. So positive 5. See that? So then I'm going to draw the line. So that brings me with what? Negative 6x equals, and then here, let's do the t-chart again, okay? Because once we're done with multiplication, we don't do multiplication again. All right, we're done with that. So negative 16 plus 5, and what's my answer there? Let's see, Davin, what's my answer there? Negative 17 plus 5.
Negative 12.
Negative 12. Good. See that? And then Alejandra, what's the last step we do? What's the last step we do? Alejandra? She there? Alejandra? No?
Oh, I'm sorry. Negative divided by negative 6.
Very good, because it's on this side. Very good. Negative 6. Because when you divide, that's going to be a 1. That's what you want. You want a 1x. But we don't put 1x. We just put x. Right? It's the invisible 1. Right? So now, what's negative divided by negative? It's a positive, right? And then 12 divided by 2 is? 12 divided by 6. I said the answer is 2. Oh man, 12 divided by 2. That was the answer. So x is 2. So what does that mean? That means when I plug in x, when I plug 2 in for the x, and I do my PEMDAS, both sides are going to balance. Okay, that's what it means. All right, so far so good, guys. So I'm going to give you guys one you guys could do on your. All right, so now what do? We go ahead and we multiply, right? No, we draw the line, which we did, okay? And then we're going to separate this. So let's get this out, okay? There you go. Sorry. Things. All right, I'm going to take this out, all right? Bam. So we're going to do the left side. So, but mister, there's a parenthesis. Yeah, well, let's go ahead and multiply then. Okay, let's go ahead and multiply here. So positive times negative. Again, if you want to do your little MD math, that's fine. Positive times negative is a negative. 5 times 2 is what? Anthony, 5 times 2?
5 times negative 2, negative 10.
Negative 10. Ooh, there's a lot of noise back there. Negative 10.
My business.
It's all good. It's all good. So -10. And then what do we do, Anthony, with the +4 since you're there? Just drop it down, right? Now, can you stay on this side, guys? Yeah, you can just stay here. And let's just go ahead and do what's -10 plus 4. And if -10 plus 4 is -6. And then we're done with the left side. I'm just going to put an equal sign, right? So now I'm going to cover it. Good job. Thank you, Anthony. Now on the right side, now what do we do? Right? Elijah, do we do 4 take away 2 first, or do we do multiplication first? Elijah? Very good, very good. So the 4, we don't do that. So I'm just gonna bring it down. See how I have the equal sign? I'm just gonna bring it down right there, the 4. Because we don't do that's at the end. 4 take away 2. So let's go ahead and do the arrow. Okay. Here we go. So negative times negative is what, everybody? Positive. Very good. 2 times 2r is 4r. Got that? So far, so good? All right, good job. And then the next one is what? What's my answer for the next one, Frank? Negative times positive, and then 2 times 3. What would I get? -6. Right? So we're done with the multiplication. Now I'm going to combine them, right? I could combine the 4 with the -6. See, I can't do this in like that. Oh, I know how to do it. I can't even do that. You need all the steps. All right. So now, Jacob, what do we get when we do 4 minus 6 with the T chart? 4 minus 6, -2. Yes. And then what do we do down here? Bring down the 4r plus 4r, right? So now let's reveal it because I can't add these two. So now I have the r on this side, which I'm going to divide by 4, but I can't do that because what's in the way? The -2 is in the way in the circle, right? So how do I get rid of the -2? Myrna, how do I get rid of the -2 in the circle? Myrna? Mirna? She's not there? So I'm gonna have to add both sides, right? +2. Okay? So then what do we get? We get 4r equals, and then again, a t-chart again. No multiplication, t-chart. -6 plus 2 is negative what? Myrna? Negative what? -4. Very good. And the last thing, see? And the last thing we do is now the 4 and the r together. So now you got to divide them by 4. Divide by 4 because that's a 4. And then your r is negative divided by positive is negative, right? If you use the little empty man. And 4 divided by 4 is, what's 4 divided by 4, guys? 1. Right, 1. Okay? And that's it. See, you need to show the steps. All right, very good. So far, so good. All right, I hope you guys are getting it. Understand, we only did 5 problems, and I did them. So that's